It's time for Twig This Week in Google. Matt Haughey, the creator of Metafilter, joins us to talk about the new Google Reader and why he hates it. We'll also talk about Google TV and why you might not hate it. It's all coming up next on Twig.
Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT. Bandwidth for This Week in Google is provided by Cachefly. Cachefly.com. This is Twig, This Week in Google, episode 119, recorded November 2nd, 2011. It's not lying, it's misinformation. This Week in Google is brought to you by GoToMeeting. With high-definition group video conferencing. For your free 30-day trial, visit GoToMeeting.com and use the promo code TWIG. And by Ford, featuring voice-activated Sync App Link. Now you can control select smartphone apps with your voice, so you keep your hands on the wheel and your eyes on the road. Check it out in the 2012 Ford Fiesta and at Ford.com/technology. And by Carbonite Online Backup. Automatic, continual, and unlimited backup for your computer files. Only $59 a year. Try it free at Carbonite.com. Use the offer code TWIG and get 2 bonus months with purchase. It's time for Twig This Week in Google, the show that covers Google and the Googleverse and the cloud and all that stuff. And boy, these days, there's a lot of stuff in the cloud. Gina Trapani is here from smarterware.org, thinkupapp.com. Hi, Gina.
Hey, how's it going?
It's good. It's good.
Good, good.
Yeah. Jeff Jarvis also here. Oh, now he's jiggling. Are you having an earthquake?
Earthquake? No, sorry. No.
Jeff's in his office at the City University of New York, where he's a professor of journalism. He's also an author of a great book called Public Parts, and buzzmachine.com is his blog. And also joining us, the founder of Metafilter, Matt Haughey, is here.
Hello.
Hey, Matt. Long time no see. Good to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Matt is a Google Reader fanatic, so we thought we'd bring him on so we could see the steam coming out of his ears. It's amazing what Google's, it seemed like for a long time Google didn't do nothing. And then all of a sudden they're changing everything. It started with Google+, but Gmail's got a new interface now. We'll talk about that in a second. But the one that really has people up in arms is Google Reader. They took out the shared button. Is that the... So I use Google Reader, and this is my account, and I use it. We are the 1,000 plus. But I more often use it with a client that then logs into it. You, I take it, use it from the web page. Matt.
Yeah.
So what's wrong here? I'm looking.
I mean, there's a lot of things wrong. Like it's cool that they are Google's finally sort of investing in design, and it's weird to complain about a free app that's been free for years and years and years.
Don't let that stop you, my friend.
It's pretty much ad free. I'm surprised it doesn't have Gmail style ads across the top. But I just got used to. I will say that they kind of went overboard in the last year or two. There was like.
There were too many buttons at the bottom. In fact, there still are. Look at +1, email,
liking.
keep unread, send to,
yeah.
edit to, all of this stuff. Yeah. Now, so they.
Yeah, you could share. You could share with a note. You could like something. You could star something. They should have just stuck with like 2, share and star maybe.
So they've eliminated everything but star and +1, which unfortunately instead of just +1ing it.
You have to +1, then you can share on plus.
Right.
Yeah, but then. So my problem is, slowly I started using the sharing thing when I noticed other friends would comment sometimes on my shares. And it seems like over the last 2-3 years, Google kind of eclipsed. It was just so easy to just press a share button.
Right.
And I follow, 150 people or so. It became more important to me than like Delicious and Pinboard and Twitter and blogs for finding new stuff. It was like new content discovery. It was amazing. So I would find just, I was following about 50 prolific people that were sharing 5 things a day, and I was just finding the most amazing stuff.
Hey, Matt, how do I get out of this share box? I can't stop it. I don't want to share this.
Can you escape?
No.
Click away.
Nothing. There's no close box. Okay, little UI. There we go. Click away worked.
Yeah, and you kind of, I mean, even a designer of Google Reader said he couldn't stand this. You know, a former designer.
He said they've lost their way.
I guess share is now in the upper right, in the on the top bar away from everything, and that's supposed to share whatever item you're looking at, which is weird.
That is weird.
But that's the same as +1. This one has a close box, which is kind of nice.
My other problem is you could export the people you're following only in JSON format, you know, a JavaScript, XML kind of type. Right. And so I opened it up, you know, in a text form. I was trying to add all these people as circles, and I just have their like Google username, and I don't know their real name. And sometimes there's 5 people with the same exact full name. And then I finally get all my followers on Plus, and 2 or 3 have migrated to Plus. But I'm also getting like pictures of their kids' Halloween costume.
Right.
I'm getting their Google Plus stuff. So they essentially killed what was, I mean, it was a nerdy.
You got Plus in my Google Reader.
Yeah.
You got Reader in my Plus. Now 2 great flavors in one.
So I said, like, you know, on the second day I woke up, I opened up Google Reader forgetting about all this. It was like someone had taken away, you know, my iPhone and given me a phone from 10 years ago. It just, all the things I loved about were completely gone.
But I feel like we should get ready because this is just, you know, kind of the beginning of a whole revamp across the board, all this stuff.
The plusification of everything.
Plusification.
Mm-hmm. We're in the business of change, but you know what? We kind of don't like change.
No. You know what? Nerds hate change more than anybody else.
Yeah, they cause change more than anybody else.
I mean, you became a nerd because you were excited by all the new stuff, but then once you got it, you know, dialed in, it's like, and every change is for the worse. Let's just admit that right now. It's all for the worse.
It actually kind of reveals an interesting problem with Google Circles, which I've kind of come into too, is that there's no way to say, like, these are my tech posts, these are my personal posts, these are my MMA posts, and, you know, kind of selectively subscribe to people. Like, if there was a way for Matt to say, I just want to subscribe to, you know, shares from Google Reader from his friends, that would kind of solve the problem, right? So you wouldn't get the pictures of people's kids in their Halloween costumes.
That I figure they're going to do. I figure that's coming in some form.
Mm-hmm.
We need it so badly.
Or like just people's +1s.
Right. On the other hand, all that adds complexity. It's a big challenge.
Yeah.
Because as you said, you added all these buttons at the bottom. Well, that makes people happy. They get attached to that button or this button. But then it's just kind of complex for somebody who's never been there before. It's like, what's the difference between share, star, and +1? I don't know. Right? I mean, it's not immediately obvious anyway when you look at it.
Yeah.
Right? So you have this, so I can understand why they'd say, well, let's narrow it down and just have a couple. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense to focus it, but not if you can't get the same, like Matt's saying, I just can't get the same functionality that I had before.
Right. Well, I think that's going to happen, though, sometimes when you focus things. You lose functionality. I'm not to diminish your complaints, Matt. I completely understand.
Yeah, I mean, well, they took out a major feature, but it was the whole shoehorning into the other new community tool that seemed just really odd. I mean, I was on Google's campus last month, and in this big meeting I was with, people asked me, you know, after I had talked about what I was talking about, so what's your favorite sites or what are the tools you use every day? And I said, like, pretty much Twitter and Google Reader are open all the time. And as soon as people heard Google Reader, they said, "Oh, what do you think of Plus? What do you like Plus?" So I was like, that was weird. Why did they ask me about Plus? But, and then I put it together, you know. When
alarm bells went off.
Post came out.
Answer me. Weren't there rumors that Reader was going to disappear entirely? It was going to be entirely moved over?
No, I think I just heard the sharing stuff. Like all the social features of everything is going to be pushed to Plus. I also heard about a new Plus feature, which was a Facebook clone feature. And I told them basically, stop cloning Facebook. Try and make something actually compelling and original.
Are you talking about the what's hot?
No, I don't think this was, nobody told me to NDA this. They said "Oh, wait till you hear about this new thing's coming to Plus, business pages." And I went, "What?"
But we knew that.
Straight
We
out of-
knew that. They were telling brands, don't create. I didn't create a Twitter account because they told me there were going to be brand pages.
And I went, like that's chasing Facebook again. Like, nothing new and compelling.
Well, but it also answers a need. I mean, if I'm a brand, see what happened, remember in the absence of a brand page, Mashable, everybody created user pages that were really brand pages. And so I can understand why they might want to separate those out. I think really the complaint is that Google Plus isn't mature enough yet. And if you're going to move everybody to Google Plus, you better have all the features that people want. Maybe not.
But maybe it's about proactively moving people to Google Plus.
Right.
Whether they realize they're getting there or not.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think eventually Gmail will just be Google Plus messaging.
I do.
Well, actually,
Yes.
Yes. You raise an important point. I had lunch with a Googler, and I'm not sure. I'm frozen. Am I
That's
frozen?
all right. Yeah, I like it that way.
Oh,
You look
well, you
grumpy.
want to imitate that, Leo? Hey. So
That always works to unfreeze them, by the way, when you imitate them.
yeah, I'm not sure whether this was on the other side of the NDA wall at Google, so I'm not sure if I'll quote the person, but I'm not giving credit only because of that worry. But he pointed out to me that the essential mistake in email was that the sender has all control, the recipient has no control. And in Google, and that's why email is so bloody broken, because that's why we get messed up with everything. Whereas
sense,
Google
yeah.
Plus, Google Plus, the recipient has control. And there were only two cases where that wasn't so. Right? One was where
Comments.
get notifications, and second was comments. So notifications they've changed so that now you can limit notifications to people you actually know, which is too bad because it limits you to a known world, but it eliminates a spam problem. And I suspect they'll do the same with the comments. So what happens then? So then Google Circles, Google Plus, becomes a place where the recipient has all control. And basically you can say, if I know you and you want to communicate with me there, because it'll be a lower spam environment than my email. So, Matt, you're not wrong. I think that Google Plus could well be an architecture for the future of email.
Would you want to replace email or just have it as another, perhaps better way to
I think
communicate?
email is god-awful broken.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what to do about it.
Right.
And so I think that we probably end up with two worlds, right? We end up with email as it stands, which is the same as trying to find somebody in Times Square. And we have the other extreme, which is complete control, which is like Google Plus could be. And then in the middle, there's some airlock where someone can knock on the door and say, will you let me in?
There has to be because,
well, yeah.
I mean, I have all this infrastructure around my email, as many of us do, to filter it, to spamify it. I don't want to have to recreate that all in tools, Google Plus tools that may not even be as good.
No, I agree, but I think you end up with different worlds, right? So LinkedIn is like one example of that airlock, right? Where you choose whether or not to go through it to meet somebody else on the other side because you have signals that allow it, right?
Right.
So at one level, it's like my students find that getting me on Twitter is sometimes easier than email because my email is just a mess.
That's already happening de facto. Exactly.
Right.
Right.
So, and that's a world where I have to follow you and all that. So I think that
Google's already set this up with these Google messaging that's built in.
Right.
Like if I go to your profile on G+, I could say send a message to Jeff. There's a new button there.
Right, but it's email though. I mean, it still kind of lands in Jeff's pile of crazy email.
Does it?
Yeah.
It doesn't. Okay, so if you use Gmail, it does.
Well, but at Google Plus, what you can do is and they know they don't make this clear enough. You can send a message just to one. You can share with just one person.
Right. So that's a message.
That's the message that occurs.
Right.
The problem with that is when people do that, there's no clear signal that says this is private to you.
Oh, that's a problem. That is.
Yeah, and it flows down and you don't see it. Yeah, that's happened to me.
Yeah, and I've had people say something and I think, wow, that's an odd thing to announce to the world. And then I realize, they're not announcing it to the world. They're just saying it to me.
So see, here's the send message button. This is new on the Google Plus profile. If I press that, it creates a Google Plus private message. It is not an email.
Interesting.
See?
Okay, that is so what happened? Send that to me, Leo. Or maybe I should send one to you.
This is a private message. Well, you can respond to it too. you, Jeff, and share. This is something this is kind of the hidden Google Plus because this could be going on all the time and we don't even know because nobody sees it. People may already be in the millions using Google Plus in lieu of email. We just wouldn't know that. In fact, I do believe they've said that.
2 to 1. The current number, I think this is public, is 2 to 1 private to public.
Yeah.
And it's heading toward 3 to 1.
Yeah, so people are using
so
it
I
that
got the
way.
message from you on top, so now let me respond.
And I'll show you, this is what it looks like to me, is that it says limited. It doesn't, we need more signals here. This is not enough to say limited. It needs to say private to Jeff or something.
No, it does. It does. Well, it could be limited to 2 people, I guess. Why?
Yeah, well, I should have a list of who I sent it to here. That's one thing that's different than email. I don't know who's
things that
seeing
are just to you.
And now Jeff's responded in real time. I like that.
Can't you click on
So
that limited
this is very
sign
buzzy.
Can I click on it and
very-
see?
see who you sent it to?
Ah, there you
Yeah.
go. So I can see that. Okay.
What? 2 people?
Yeah, me and Jeff. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The pilgrim and the cowboy. That's not a cowboy hat. It's a pilgrim hat, by the way.
Oh, excuse
It's
me.
November. So I don't know. I think this is in many circumstances a suitable replacement for email. It's a kind of in between instant messaging and email.
I just sent you one back.
On my profile, there's a send a message button and a send an email button. So
Right.
that was my confusion.
Ah.
Yeah, because I've enabled that, like let people send me email. And actually, I've been using that as my kind of personal email form forever because I don't want to just hand out my email.
Well, and if you go to my profile on Google Plus, you can message Leo. That's always been part of the profiles thing. And yeah, see here, I could send a message or send an email to myself. I don't know why I'd want to do that, but I could.
Right. So if you have a verified identity in some way or another that Google does it, right, it starts to become your canonical address in the world. People can email you, but you have control. It now gives you more control. They can message to you only if you allow that. It is not. It doesn't require the friend connection that Facebook required for so long. So it can be. I always get in trouble in this show when I say it's asynchronous. I'm supposed to say it's whatever. Or I know people. I know you get pissed off.
Asymmetric.
Thank you, asymmetric.
Asymmetric is the word you're looking for.
Well, I think it's actually somewhat both. I hope I'm not freezing like that. Right, so that becomes a really interesting new frontier here. Right?
If they open an API, if they need a better API before they do too
Yes.
much of this, because then we could have tools. I'm going to miss the tools I have for filtering, for processing in my mail clients. Gina, you could write something if you would. I would appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Oh, sure. I'll
I'll
whip that up this weekend.
Speaking of mail, Gmail, of course, now has a new interface, and I just for the first time saw the opportunity. If you look in the lower right, I didn't see this earlier, but now it says, you see, switch to the new look. You click that, and you'll get this. You'll automatically get upgraded to the new look soon, but if you don't want to wait, you can switch to the new look today, and then click this button. I saved this. I didn't do it until you were watching. And now I'm switching to the new look, which looks a lot like the template that I was using, which was the new look. They have new themes, though. They have HD themes.
Do they have some kind of new design guru who's doing all this?
They said they were going to do it. They did say they were going to do this with the launch of Google Plus, that they were going to do all of this. I don't know.
You know, it looks a lot like what it used to be, the old that theme that you're using, that minimal theme,
Yeah.
but it's got a couple of cool little things to it. Like it gracefully kind of resizes when you resize your browser window, which is nice. The gadgets on the side, the sidebar are resizable, so you can resize your labels, you can resize your your chat gadget. It takes actually from Honeycomb a little thing. If you select a message, buttons appear with possible actions that you can perform on those messages at the top on the action bar, similar to like an Android action bar, which is kind of neat. So if you select a message, you'll see the button show up. And the conversations look a lot nicer too.
I like
And
this.
search is really cool. If you click that down arrow on the right side of the search box, you can specify
Ooh.
from
Date with
to
you.
subject, which is awesome. Yeah, that's really awesome.
Ooh, create a
I always-
filter with this search. That's
Yeah,
great.
you create a filter right from there,
Oh, I
which is
need
super
that.
neat.
So this is good. This is encouraging to me because these are the tools I was talking about that I need for mail. If this somehow integrates with Plus as well, then I would have the features that I
Right. So you start to have this world of people I know versus people I don't know. Email becomes for people I don't know.
got it.
Ooh, fancy, Eileen.
Like
Very
that.
fancy.
I'm trying.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's
Trying to
neat.
spruce it up for you guys.
The
And,
ooh look of email with the ooh look of Twitter. That's great. Right. So does that work? People I know, people I don't know.
Yeah.
And
People who
that works
wanted
for me. But I mean, I use Twitter direct messages and IM as my like kind of whitelisted conversations, right? Like these are people who I friended, who I know, who I trust well enough. Like IM, for example, I only put people on my IM buddy list who are friends and who are okay to interrupt me. I don't want a stranger interrupting me, but Matt IM'd me yesterday, complaining about Google Reader, and I said, hey, come on Twig, and that's how this happened, you know. And
Leo,
Twitter,
are you on her list?
Leo's totally on my IM list.
I'm
Yeah,
not
yes,
on
you are.
You know what? I noticed it no longer says priority inbox. It's just inbox. There doesn't seem like there's anything but priority inbox anymore, unless there's.
really?
It must be a
I have-
setting. Well, in the
Oh,
left,
that's another layer, right? So you have people you know on Google Plus, people who want to know you in the airlock, people who you probably are okay with, which is priority inbox, and then everything else.
Oh, yeah. They
sent-
call it important now.
Important.
Yeah, it's
Priority inbox.
important and unread.
Also, if you click the gear on the upper right hand side, you can change the density.
I know, from comfortable to cozy to compact.
I'm a cozy fan myself.
Cozy? I don't know. Compact. I like to get a lot jammed in there.
Yeah, you like
So-
high information density.
I like see this is cozy. This is what Gina. Now you can go comfortable where you get spread the hell all over the place, or or compact where you get thousands of messages into one little tiny page. I like this.
My favorite feature is the collapsing of, I guess, signatures and replies in that little, you get like a little 3-dot graphic. And if you click it, it expands on the fly.
Oh, that's
and I
nice.
noticed people's long SIG files disappear. And
Yeah, that's
I'll
handy.
tell you, this is making it more. You know, I never really use the G. I know this is heresy, but I usually use my own mail client, not the Gmail client. I use Apple Mail usually. But this now has gotten so feature laden, particularly that bar on the right that says who you're talking to, and what others. I mean, look at all this here on the right, Eileen. This is.
You're showing an email, so I'm.
Oh, you don't want to show your email?
Well, no, not mine. It's the person that. It's a person.
Okay, we don't want to show that one. So let me go to.
Well,
another
it's
one.
just a person. You know, I mean, it's work.
Here, I'll show my fidelity. And well, but see, in order to do that, I have to show somebody
Okay.
with. Wait a minute.
I just didn't want this person to get
Steve
mad
Gibson.
At us.
No, but
Okay.
see, Steve has no personality,
Okay.
so he doesn't show up. Doesn't even have a picture. No.
It's not my email I care about. It's the other person on the
Yeah.
thread.
Yeah, I understand why too, because he's somebody that people would love
Exactly.
to meet. Let me see.
How do I change? I
Here's
missed
one.
this, Leo. How do I
You got
change
one?
my email? Oh, switch new look. There it is.
Yeah, but it's not everybody gets that right. And now see there. Okay, so this is Schwood. I think everybody knows who he is. So see how I like this on the right though, where it shows like I could follow him on Twitter. See, I wasn't. And look at that. It's showing a little.
Wow.
So I'm going to follow. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Yeah. I don't want to log in right now.
Whoa.
I guess I have to. Isn't that cool? Log in with Google now. Oh my God! Allow. Connect. Hey. This is something I've installed. This is Reportive. I didn't.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that's
That's more
that's
than
an add-on.
return to Gmail. Okay, so but are you getting this, or is this Reportive over here?
I'm not getting that.
Oh, too bad. It's fun. So let me turn off Reportive then. So what are you getting on the right? You're getting some of this though, right?
Yeah, I'm getting the names of the people in the conversation.
Okay.
That's Matt.
Matt, you got to unplug your headset and plug it in again. Here, go off my email for a second, and I'm going to turn off Reportive. I don't even know. What is Reportive? Claim your email. I don't even know what this is. I installed something I wish I didn't. I shouldn't do that because then I don't have a normal interface. But it was kind of cool, wasn't it? How it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe
Yeah,
I
that
do
was
want it. I don't even know. This is the problem, and this is a real issue in general with adding all of features like this, is that people get this weird disconnect, like I'm looking at something, but I don't know where it came from. I don't know what it is, and to be honest, I have no idea how to turn it off.
So, Matt, this gives you the option to switch to the new look or not switch to the new look. Do you just wish that had been the option for Reader, A? And B, do we think that you'll be able to hold on to your old look Gmail forever?
No, I actually like the new Gmail. My biggest concern with the Google Reader is they just took out like 50% of why I used it. Like,
Right.
This is gone.
Share. You love Share.
Yeah, and there is no migration client. I'm sitting here reading an XML file and trying to build a new circle, which was crazy. And then it doesn't even offer the same functionality. But, Gmail, I really like it. This morning, when I first used it for about 20 minutes, I didn't like the loss of text labels of just the little things on the top. But after 20 minutes, I memorized what archive is. So, I can hit that like a Skinner box.
Archive.
Yeah. And I realized today, like, Gmail's gotten really good in the last year or two. Like, I see maybe 1 or 2 spam messages.
Oh, it's really good, isn't
a
it?
day, maybe,
Yeah.
instead of per hour, like, a year ago. It's been fantastic. It's just getting better. It's just slowly gotten mildly better to the point where I barely even notice,
Oh, Reportive is okay. I see it. It's a Chrome add-on. So I'll turn that off. Now I'm confused. I don't even know where I am.
I do see, like, a person I was emailing. I see a nice little icon. A way
Yeah,
to
that's
call
something
them.
they added. Yeah.
And I see their last Google Plus update that was public. That's only one person I've seen do that.
Let me look at somebody. I have to, so careful with my email here. I always reveal more than I choose. How about, do you mind if I show your vacation email, Eileen?
Yeah, sure. No problem. There we go.
Where are you going, Eileen?
I'm going to Hawaii. Going to Maui.
It looks like Reportive
Right on.
is
Not
still
in a while, though. January.
Looks like Reportive is still there, so never mind. I don't know. I thought I turned it off. Anyway, okay. So good. It's a mixed bag. Some good, some bad. But this is just the beginning, I think, of a complete, redesign of everything Google. In order to, it's the G+ification, right? That's the goal.
Yep.
The classification of everything. It's true.
So if you don't like G+, you might not be too happy with it.
You will like G+.
Got no choice. You got no choice. Enjoy, everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like if you want to do anything social on Google, it's going to be Plus. It's going to be hooked into Plus eventually if it's not already.
Right.
Which makes sense for, Google.
Okay. Anything else about Reader we want to say? Do you think, really, truthfully, this is, how, Google must be looking at how many people use Reader and say there's not really a whole bunch of people. This is kind of reading a feed reader. Does that even make sense anymore in this?
Well, that's the other question is RSS. I mean, how many feeds do you have in your reader that you never ever touch?
1,000 plus. It's always 1,000 plus. Unread articles.
Yeah, after Lifehacker, I basically switched to Twitter almost entirely.
Right.
I was in a weird kind of situation at Lifehacker. I had to pound through my RSS reader every single day. I had treated it like an inbox. So it just became equated with work for me. But I think that switch from reading RSS and blogs kind of the old school way through a feed reader and switching to Facebook or Twitter and getting your links that way.
It's a better signaling system. It's just a better.
Right. It's sharing as the new means of discovery and distribution.
Yeah, it's collaborative. And yet, well, Matt, why make a case for newsreaders?
Yeah, it's tough because it's like a niche nerd item, and it makes no money for Google.
Right.
Google's strange. When I visited there last month, I was hanging out with the AdSense teams, and the teams were extremely small. Like, it would boggle your mind that billions of dollars are moving through, like, a small cube farm you could see all sides of.
Wow.
30 people are in charge of something that's bringing in over $1 billion. It's psychotic.
Nice. Yeah.
And then you realize there's 15,000 employees. Only the people in the ad groups are the ones making money from Google. Everyone else is just sort of sucking up resources and making cool tech. It's
31,000.
Yeah, it's just really strange. The ad people aren't treated like gods, like the people who are making Google Maps, are respected on the campus. But, really it's all about, what makes money, I guess. So I know Google Readers is this tiny little niche product. I know I was using it in a really niche way with the other super tech nerds, but it was very, awesome and compelling and perfect for me. I cut my feeds down to maybe 250 or 300 blogs, so I could treat it like an inbox, that could get to 0 in a day. But I noticed that everyone just moved to Twitter for link sharing. Delicious has sort of been dying out, definitely is with the redesign. And Pinboard sort of, my network activity is where I used to watch for interesting stuff, and now I just sort of watch Twitter. But Twitter there's not aggregation tools to show me, give me the hottest links among the whatever 400 people I follow that were shared today, what are the 2 or 3 collisions there. I haven't seen anything like that. It seems like a tool that needs to be built.
I think it's such a moving target. It's so hard to know how people, every 5 months, everything changes about how people consume content on the net. I'll give you an example. I'm looking at The Verge, which they've done a beautiful job. This is Joshua Topolsky and Cruz, the guys who Left Engadget's next big thing. It's a beautiful website beautifully designed. And I think very modern, kind of tablet-y and all of this. But I wonder, I don't really go to sites anymore, even Lifehacker, to read stuff. I replaced that long ago with newsreaders, and now replaced newsreaders with Google+, Facebook, and Twitter.
And look at what Facebook's doing with The Guardian and
a
Washington
perfect
Post.
example.
Right.
Yeah.
And, I call it the peanut butter strategy. You want your content to be spreadable and embeddable everywhere.
So what do you think of something like this, which is really, this is, you'd asked me a couple of years ago, I said, this is the future of magazines. And now I'm wondering if this has a future at all. As great as it is, it's beautiful. Yeah. And they're long-form articles, and they're, beautifully designed. Every article has a really strong image associated with it. And, of course, from their point of view, they want you to go hit this because this is where the ads are. But
Leo, then that's where the Facebook model works, is your ads go with you to Facebook.
Yeah. And notice, they're not eschewing this social sharing. They've got tweet, +1, stumble upon.
I would like to be able to embed that in a Google Plus post, right? I'd like to be able to take the article like a YouTube. I can embed a YouTube video in Google Plus. Why shouldn't I be able to embed that article?
Well, that's up to them, and I bet you can, because that's up to their the tags, the meta info they put in there. In other words,
there's no means now to embed a whole article into a Google Plus.
Oh, not the entire article. I see what you're saying.
Right. I want to embed the whole thing.
Well, I don't know. Remember, there's meta tags that Google uses to find, and format this data. I don't know if you can't make it be the entire text.
Oh, one could. I just don't think you can today. Can you?
Anybody? Matt, Gina? Remember, there's these tags.
Old school iframe.
Yeah, it should travel with the brand and the revenue.
No, but what you're saying, Jeff, is if I paste in a link for a site, just as I do with YouTube, shouldn't it, as it does with YouTube, be a beautifully formatted Google Plus article? And I've got to find this because they're...
Why should you have to go click off to the other site?
Right.
Says
I should be able to expand it and see the whole thing.
Right there, and you'll end up getting more readers because they don't have to travel as far. And Gina's right. The only thing you can do now is an awkward iframey thing, but Facebook has gone one step in that way, which is toward having an alternate homepage for those sites. The next step is to have an alternate display of a piece of content embedded. And then do you really need the site anymore? Somebody said to me today, well, what about, is that where Flipboard is? And I said, I think about it. I used Flipboard for the first month that I had my iPad. I haven't used it in 3 months.
I do actually still use Flipboard to browse articles. This is the point, is that we're in a very rapidly changing area about how people consume content. And it's some people are reader, but I think that's a small number. A lot of people are doing it on social networks, using that as a signaling system. And I think if Google's smart, I agree with you, Jeff. What they should do is, right now, if you paste a YouTube link in, it formats it just right. You see, it gives you the video, it gives you the title, it gives you a paragraph. Right. And I know that as a webmaster, you can put the appropriate meta tags into your content that will help Google format it properly. And I know that. And some people do and some people don't. What I'm I'm wondering is, so see, here's an example. This website has done that. And the question is, can you format it in such a way that it's more than just a paragraph, that you have the whole article there and it expands?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure not. I think you can only specify like the summary
just a
and the
summary.
image.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, so I worked on Better G Reader, which is a Firefox extension for
Right.
Google Reader, which is now basically doesn't work at all because of the redesign. That's another thing. I'll try to update it. But we had this one script that basically, let you see the original, which just replaced the item, the RSS item, with the entire page, but inside an iframe.
Right.
And people like that because they wanted to see the original page,
Sure.
but it was it's really clunky because you see all the ads from the originating site, and it would often spread beyond the viewport for the item. So it gets tricky, embedding content like that. I mean, there's the ads question.
iFrame is absolutely a hack and not the way you want to do it.
It's a terrible hack.
But what you really want, and I wish Google would provide, is a set of tags that is not just description, title, summary, full article.
Full article.
And it could have
Right.
expand.
Yes.
And if they're smart, they'll do that, because then Google Plus becomes your reader, and you just like it's just like Flipboard. You can scan through, but it's Flipboard. You get all the signals. I guess if that's what Flipboard does, because it's pulling from Twitter feeds.
Well, I'm hearing that Facebook, with its new structure, is feeding back to the publishers better data than their own systems have, or new data.
That's what you need to do.
Yeah.
And Facebook knows so much about the reader, they can do that. And that's where Apple, I think, made a little bit of a mistake. Apple says, no, we want to hold on to that.
Right.
I mean, Google could do that with RSS right now, right? Because with RSS, you know what the full text article is. In some cases, you have an excerpt. You have the headline and the title. So if someone shared something on Google, Google could auto detect the RSS and do all that for you. But right now, I think it's about proving to publishers that Google Plus drives traffic to their sites so that people can see ads.
Right, but the ads can travel with the content. Right?
That's the future.
Right.
YouTube's ads travel with it. All right, get your glasses ready, people. Get your glasses ready. The drinking game about to start.
Oh, boy.
Before Gutenberg, Eisenstein says that the scholars had to travel town to town to the books. And then after the press, the books traveled to the scholars. Well, in that metaphor, we're still being made to travel site to site, town to town. The content should come to us. And as long as the business model and the business rule and revenue is there, then I've got to believe in the long run, it's valuable for a content brand to have its content with advertising, with brand, with links, with analytics embedded all around. That's the extension of social.
But then you look at something like The Verge, and they've designed this great landing page, beautiful looking, really designed to draw you to the page, except that that's not, people I don't think people have in years gone to a website to read the contents on the website. That's not how it works.
Well, you guys are kind of conflating yourselves as customers for even The Verge. And really, The Verge is, I'm not saying cynical, but they're really, I don't know how to put this. They're designed for searches 2 years from now. Like, have you noticed that there's a product page with like the product title, like every story we've ever heard about that product?
Yeah.
That's a search landing page. You're talking about you and I looking at ads, like we're inconsequential. We're like a rounding error.
It's really getting those search results.
Yeah, it's like that's the business model of even Metafilter. It's like 80% of the traffic to the server is people looking at one page and they've never looked at the site ever, and they're never going to see it.
So then that's been going on for a long time.
So that's
so search is the key for that.
Yeah, that's
search and sharing. You've got three levels of discovery of content, right? Brand, search, and sharing now. So brand is a homepage, which is an expression of editorial ego and brand. Search is exactly what you just said, Matt, people coming in from wherever, and sharing is embedding it out there where you recommend it at places like G+. And you've got to have all three strategies. But editorially, I know, because I is one, we love the homepage because that's the thing we control. The other two we don't control.
Yeah, I'm saying, but we account for 1% to 5% of their revenue. Random, like gadget freaks reading the site every day, or not reading the site, or reading it by RSS. I'm saying this silent majority is like 85% is like not
search.
Us. It's not designed. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. But then why do they put so much effort into a beautiful homepage?
Yeah, good question.
I almost argue that you shouldn't have a homepage, right? Google doesn't have a homepage.
Right.
It is a box.
I guess you do a homepage because I mean you got to cover the bases.
Yeah, but the way it works inside places is people go berserk about the homepage. This is to Matt's
No point.
And they don't pay nearly enough attention to the pages that people actually come to and the only ones people experience.
So is the future something like this Washington Post social reader embedded in Facebook? Is that the future?
I think it's part of the future. Someone, when I was behind the NDA wall at Google, kind of made fun of it because they said, well, that's just an alternative homepage. But I think that, yeah, when you get down to the article level and you know, look at what Google Plus has done. It's mixing news and conversation. So how do you get your stuff in that mix? And how are you given formatting abilities to do that? That's where I think it goes.
Well, and you go back to your Facebook page, and then everybody who's reading the social reader shows up in the ticker on the right as it scrolls by, saying, "Oh, Gareth's reading this, Daniel's reading that, Imogene's listening to this."
And now go to something like music, right? Where both Google and Facebook let your friends listen to what you're listening to. It's the new radio airplay.
Right. It's a smart strategy from Facebook's point of view. And I wonder if it reflects closer to how people consume content than
how we're moving.
Than a home site. Or, or a newsreader. Right?
Yeah. Gina, do you still use a news reader per se? I mean, you say you got rid of it and go to Twitter. Do you use it at all?
I use it on Wednesday mornings to prepare for Twig.
Right.
I mean,
well, we're a
literally.
special case, but you're right. But it's part of our beat check.
Yeah.
Right.
In the old days of radio news reporting, you'd do a beat check every morning. You'd call the fire department, the police department. That's what we do. We're doing our beat check, but that's a very specialized use.
Yes.
The truth is, I go to TechMeme and news.google.com, and that's pretty much it. I go to the technology news on Google, and I go to the TechMeme when I need to find out what happened today. And the TechMeme is all about signals.
Yeah.
It's Gabe Rivera, but it's it's a specialized form of signals. But then I follow day in, day out. I'm following Twitter and Google Plus. Actually, Google Plus has become more and more the place I go.
Yeah. I like the tone of the conversation there.
It's also a great place to find, increasingly a great place to find links. And it seems to be that memes and other things surface faster on Google Plus.
Yes.
At least
I see things really fast on Plus, too.
And more legibly, because the problem with Twitter is it's cryptic.
Yes.
I can't figure out what the hell I'm reading. I'm getting old. I don't understand all this stuff.
Yeah, and it's just good for conversation.
Why can't you speak English?
Speak English.
It's great for conversation. Like I posted a problem I was having with some ThinkUp development a couple weeks ago. I got, I had the privilege of being in a lot of circles because Google put me on their suggested list. I got like 90 comments, all with some great suggestions, totally solved my problem, posted a follow-up thanking everyone. Like it's just a really good place to do kind of Q&A, asking for suggestions and just getting into conversations about things. Not in a way that you just can't do on Twitter. And because it's, super tech nerds on Google Plus, it's just conversations you couldn't have on Facebook.
Right. That's not going to last. Not if Google, not if Google has anything to do with it.
If things go Google's way.
That's audience selection. That's the same thing with Quora, right? People say Quora is great if you're a Silicon Valley startup with problems about your servers. You get awesome answers in 20 minutes.
How did you handle that on Metafilter? Because that's the same exact thing happened with Metafilter, right?
What?
Well, initially Metafilter was a geek community. It's still a pretty geeky community.
Yeah. It's fine. I mean, we meter sort of the sign up so like the crowd isn't too big. So there's like 10 to 12,000 people using the site every day and answering questions. So we found that's like a big enough number where chances are 2 or 3 people have experienced whatever you could possibly imagine you're asking about. But
That's
it's
an
not so
interesting thought.
much. Yeah, I always think like 10,000 people is a good number because everyone's done everything or had experience with everything. And then it's not so much that you're like Yahoo Answers yelling into the void of strangers.
That's Matt. That's an important moment. We have the Dunbar number. We just got the Haughey number.
The Haughey number.
10,000.
But
10,000 is enough experience.
I'm speaking on Tuesday to PubCon, which is a big marketing SEO conference in Vegas. And one of the things that I want to talk about is we do have it's kind of in the air that you should get bigger. You should grow your audience. Your audience should always get bigger, whether it's media, websites, meta filter, Google Plus. Bigger's always better. More people means more revenue. Grow it bigger. But I think there's a really big question about culture and focus. And I think, Matt, you hit the nail on the head. There's a size. Maybe it's 10,000. You don't want to get bigger than that because it.
I think that's right, Leo. And it goes true
up.
with media, too, because it's the old myth of media that we sold was that every reader saw every ad. And so we wanted ever more readers so we could charge ever more for the ads. Well, that's not the case anymore. The only people who see the ads are the people who look at that page, and that ad is there for a reason. And so can you become too big? Yes. I've seen one site that has the pursuit of page views got them to go crazy on SEO and got them to bring in all kinds of irrelevant traffic that costs bandwidth and gives them no revenue.
It's what happened to Tech TV. It's what happens to every TV network.
Yes.
And that's why Bravo sucks and Discovery sucks. And it's one of the things that I realized here at TWiT, and we do not want to grow.
Wow.
We do not. Most media, they say, how can I get more audience? I do not want more audience. I want an audience that I know how to serve that's a very specific, unique audience. I don't want to grow it past that. People say, why don't you do more marketing? I don't know.
Wow.
I'm not going to.
Well, but your new properties, you're going to the Haughey rule here, right? I presume that Twig still wants to grow some.
Well, we don't want it to make, look, it's more than 10,000, but so our number is not the Haughey number. But there maybe is another number for broadcast media. And actually, I think it depends on the niche that you're in. But I only want to grow to the extent that we serve the people we're serving. You know, if you're the kind of person that would like this, then sure. But I'm not going to change this to increase the number of people who like it.
Right. I like that. That's really interesting.
It's a very different way of looking at media. I don't think it's typical.
No, not at all. No, I think it's unique.
And I think the number in podcasting, I hate that word, but is more around 150 to 250,000. That's the media number. Any more than that, you dilute it.
Gina,
it's interesting. I definitely struggle with that at Lifehacker. You know, this constant pressure to go more mainstream, and I think it really resulted in some, lower quality content. It definitely did. Yeah.
And
I agree.
It takes some courage and, frankly, some willingness not to become a mogul.
Yep.
To say no. But in the long run, you do better because you know that audience, you serve that audience well. Advertisers know what they're getting. You're getting an engaged audience, not a halfway awake audience. It just makes sense to me. And I think
this is why I'll never get investors, right?
Yeah, but that's fine. Okay. Yeah, and I don't want investors because I know that one of the things investors do is say grow. That's the whole idea, grow our investment. So that's why we don't want investors. We've always wanted to just serve that niche properly. And now I think the niche grows because there's more and more people interested in tech, more and more of these tech enthusiasts.
And more topics based on your platform.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to do a gaming show, so that's, that grows it into a different area, but it's still aimed at enthusiasts,
But that's the perversion of both media and investment then.
Exactly.
Right? I would love, this is a hint, I would love to invest in TWiT, right, as an annuity.
Think of it more that way.
Yes, I own a share of it, and you keep on making money, and I keep on getting checks, which thank you very much again anyway. But but in terms of an investment structure, that if you're a new media business like my entrepreneurial students, you could live that way. But I had to separate content businesses from platforms, or as Reid Hoffman described it to me, entrepreneurial from free agent nation. You're more in creating a world of free agent nations, where TWiT and Twig and Android and so on are all on a platform and all have a model, but all have a limited size. That's really interesting, Leah.
Well, it goes well beyond that to the whole notion of sustainable growth in general, because we have this crazy notion that progress means growth, and we have 7 billion people on this planet now. There is there's a finite set of resources, there's a finite set of room, there's a finite set of water, there's a finite set of oil, and unlimited continual growth at an exponential level breaks everything. And there's actually we did an interview with him. It was fascinating I think it was on Dr. Kiki's Science Hour. There's a whole movement not much listened to because no president, no government, nobody's going to go with this.
Right.
To say, wait a minute, is unfettered growth the right way to go? And it isn't in any respect.
Or is it even possible anymore?
It isn't.
My South by Southwest talk is going to be Honey, We Shrunk the Economy.
Yeah.
That argues that, I think we discussed this before, but that technology leads to efficiency over growth. So you can't wish for growth anymore when things like retail and media are shrinking by their new architecture.
Right.
So.
South by Southwest might be a good example of something that can grow too much.
Oh, good point.
Really good point.
Sorry. I love you, South by, but
No,
They
really good
violated
point.
the Haughey rule.
Yeah, totally.
Well, you know what?
I don't go to it anymore. It's
Humans
just
are greedy.
too much.
Humans are greedy. We always want more.
But when it kind of ruins the experience for
ruins
everyone,
it.
Comic-Con is the same thing, you know. Like I think events that get too popular and they just keep upping the.
But Gina, what do you do then about the exclusivity issue that people want to participate in this and they can't because I'm in because I'm a veteran or I got in early? That's a problem too, though, isn't it?
It is. I mean, I'm to the point where I'm like opting, like very consciously opting to out of those really huge events and looking for the smaller, sort of more up and coming events, which are just a better just because they're a better experience. Yeah, I don't know what the solution is for South by. I don't know if it's live streaming or doing some remote, but I think they would do really well to maybe focus it a little more because
we need a North by, East by, and a West by.
Well, I want to start a
That's what we
business
need.
that puts the control of deciding to do events in the hands of the speakers, organizers, whatever you call it, right? And the people formerly known as the audience, and takes it out of the hands of the conference organizers, and takes it out of the hands of the speakers bureaus and all that. And so that you could, see if you have critical mass for a North by in Kickstarter and start an event that's your own event. I looked at PopTech is going to Iceland, and I'm dying to go to Iceland, and I'd love to go to that. But then I look at the price of $5,000, and I say, never mind.
Yeah. I think just having new events. I think new events can spring out of frustration from people like myself and Matt, who are just like, I'm not going to South by Southwest, but I'm going to go to, I don't know, Next FunCon or something.
Can you go to South by this year?
You two were the reason why I went.
We
last
wanna do
year, and I
Twig
did
from
have a
there.
really good time. No, I know. we'll talk about this.
Can you
offline.
just go this year? And we'll forget it next year. They're
I'll
actually,
just come for the meat dinner.
they're actually unfortunately fairly arrogant too, which adds to the mess of it. Because, for instance, they asked me if I would host. I don't know. There's some kind of a startup thing they're doing, the 2 days worth of startup stuff, and we said, yeah, we'd love to if we could get badges for our staff to the conference, and if you could help us book a room for our event there. And they said, oh no, we're not going to give you anything. We just want you to do 2 days. I said. Oh, never mind. Because I'm not going to do that. It's like there's a certain, we're South by, you should just do this. So anyway, I don't, but that's dirty laundry. I don't want to.
All right, Leo, you've got to go into the event business.
No, I don't. See? You see
please?
what the pressures are? And that's exactly it. I'm sticking to my knitting, baby. Steve Jobs came in when he came back to Apple, and he went up on the whiteboard and he drew a quadrant, 4 things. Apple had like 20 products. He said 4 products, consumer, pro, portable, desktop. That's it. And it was brilliant, right? Simplify, streamline. We don't need to grow. We just want to serve our audience better. And if the problem that South by has, I don't think South by lost sight of its goals. I think they're still doing it. It's just that the number of people who wanted to go got out of control.
Yeah.
And that's a normal evolution. I don't think that's something you could blame the South by. I don't know.
No.
Maybe you can. I don't know them. But I don't think that's something you blame the organizers for. So there's different kinds of growth. And I could see us getting too big, if we had 20 million people with all different constituencies and that we couldn't manage it. Matt?
Yeah. I think with South by Southwest, the organizers, they're serious about it. They could have,
They could have done
basic
something.
economics, up the price to $500 from $200, or make it $1,000 like a normal tech conference. Bring the numbers down to something manageable. I mean, it was just, there's lines everywhere. It's hard to get food.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just impossible.
You're
It's just the
going
whole
after
thing is.
everywhere.
I don't think that, because that makes it more exclusive. I don't think being more exclusive is a good idea. I think, look at TED. What is it, $5,000?
Yeah.
No lines at TED.
And invitation only.
Yeah. You get to sit down.
You get
right?
invited to spend $5,000.
And obnoxious.
That doesn't improve accessibility. So I think really the way to handle South by is exactly what you said, which is divide it into more conferences. Spread it out. Spread the wealth. Hey, we got to take a break. God, we're already like an hour into the show and I haven't done one commercial. Can I do a commercial just quickly and then we'll get on?
We
There's so
have
much to
3.
talk about.
We have
I know,
3
we have
commercials
3 and there's a
today.
fly. Where do these flies come from?
I don't know. Tom killed a fly on the air one time.
Really?
This
Like
is a
that?
show that I
During
said
TNT,
we
yeah.
wouldn't have allowed to talk about.
Who was the guy? Who was the guy who was it? Jobs or was it Bill Gates who just caught a fly like that during an interview?
He was an
somebody.
Obama.
It was Obama. It was the president.
Yes.
Can we bring him in here to catch these flies?
Well, Tom can do it for you. He's done
Surely
it.
he needs
Oops.
something to do right now. Go to meeting. No, put it up there. That's good. That's exactly what I wanted to talk about. Ladies and gentlemen, our friends at Citrix give us the wherewithal to do this. And one of the reasons they don't care, they're not looking for 100 million people. They know that the people who watch this show are their best potential customers because you're savvy and you use technology to help you get your jobs done, get on with life. And this is what GoToMeeting's all about. It's an online meeting service. Okay, we know those are great. It's very fast, very secure, very easy to use, Mac or PC, completely cross-platform. By the way, the people who do the GoToMeeting, you know, that you go to, like if you're doing a sales call, they don't have to have it installed ahead of time. You don't have to support them. You just give them a link. We're going to have a meeting at 2 o'clock on Thursday. They click the link. 30 seconds later, they're seeing your screen, and now with the new HD faces, they're seeing you, and you're seeing them. GoToMeeting has added video, so this is stuff. This is as good as the dedicated telepresence systems that are being sold for tens, 20s, hundreds of thousands of dollars to big businesses. You got it right now, and you got it in your laptop. You got it in your desktop, and you even have it in your iPad. You can't hold a meeting on your iPad, but you can attend a meeting on your iPad. You don't even need a phone. You just plug in your microphone and your earbuds, and the sound, the video, the whole thing is happening on your iPad. I just think it's just the best way to make your business more efficient, to get more done, travel less, and make your meetings more engaging, more personal with that video. I love that. Try it right now, absolutely free on your Mac or your PC. Visit gotomeeting.com. Use the offer code TWIG. If you decide to buy, you get 30 months free, and then if you decide to buy, I think it's $49 a month. It's nothing. Nothing. It's really affordable. And I also want to underscore that the iPad app is absolutely free. So anybody can attend your meeting for free. GoToMeeting on iPad, on Mac, or PC. GoToMeeting.com. Use the offer code TWIG. Enough said. I won't belabor the point. So there's nothing to talk about, huh? We talked about Google Reader. We talked about Gmail.
You guys.
Although we should mention the iOS app that came out for
That was out for 3 seconds. It came out. Oh, bye. God, we lost everybody. Is it just you and me now, Jeff?
We take over. I got rid of them.
They are dead now. They are dead to me. Yeah, the Gmail for iOS, for iPhone and iPad. Apparently, people were raving about it. I know MGC.
It really was gone in a flash.
And it was gone. And apparently there's a bug in notifications. It has to do with iOS 5. Here's the official Gmail blog. Earlier today, Matt Isat writes, we launched a new Gmail app for iOS. Unfortunately, it contained a bug which broke notifications and caused users to see an error message when opening the app. That's not what you want. So we removed the app while we correct the problem.
Oh,
and we're
I have
working.
a screenshot of that.
You do? Is it bad?
Yeah, it was annoying and weird. Where is
Put it on Google Plus.
Yes,
I can't believe that Apple didn't catch this. And sorry, Skype just crashed on me.
I can't believe nobody caught it. How do you?
No one caught it. It's so crazy.
Are you excited about? No, we have on Android. All of us who use Android have very nice native Gmail apps. And by the way, they updated both the Gmail app and the Google Plus app on Android now. Is really sweet. You can do a Hangout now on your Android phone.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yay.
Yay. Loving that.
Yeah, you know, the native app was always one of the reasons why I really liked
Right.
Gmail or Android, excuse me, over iOS. Even though I have to say the iOS, the web app interface on the iPad is actually quite nice. I'm excited about this having a native app on iOS. Although I didn't get to download it before they pulled it, so hopefully it'll show up again soon.
Matt, did you find your screenshot?
Yeah, I'm uploading to Flickr right now. What's weird is the Android app feels like just a wrapper for the web version of it, and that's definitely what they did with Gmail on the iPhone.
Right.
It just feels like a wrapper for the website. I use the website all the time. It's a bit nicer. I don't know why. I like the Android version so much better.
Ooh, this is
Like it's-
ugly. No
Yeah, that was
valid APS environment entitlement string found for application.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was
Okay.
Of
This
course,
is what
the
I
APS environment entitlement.
like, did they not check that?
How
Like,
would you not see that?
I don't. Yeah.
Especially that this had to be in review for a few days at least.
It was, yeah.
Well, it also reminds me, whenever I powered up my Android phone, which I only use sporadically, I'll get some Google Maps XML error, like the first time I turn it on, always. I don't know why.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to see that,
Yay,
especially on an
Android.
iPhone. So, Matt, you're an iPhone user.
Yeah. And I sort of have Android stuff for testing.
You know, it's interesting. I've been using the iPhone 4S. I really like Siri, and I'm going to stick with it, mostly because I use Siri all the time. But then I pulled out the Galaxy. I've been using it for a week, and I pulled out the Galaxy S2, and then the screen is so much nicer. And I compared it to the iPhone. I know it's not a Retina display. The DPI is not up there, but boy,
Better than the Retina display.
Yeah, it's the blacks are black, much blacker. The color and the contrast is so much better, and the size. I have the Sprint one, so it's 4.5 inches. It's just I like the size. So
Interesting.
it's a little disappointing.
We should talk about Google TV because Matt writes
Yeah, Google
DVR
TV,
blog.
Google
Yeah,
TV. They're gonna finally make my $300 investment almost worth it. It's 99 bucks now for the. Now Matt has the Sony one. You and I have the Logitech Review.
Right. And Matt also has every other DVR that's on the market because he writes PVR blogs. So he knows how Google TV actually compares to
The
everything
first
else that's out there.
sustainable blog.
I have like 7 devices or something hooked up to my TV, but I only use Google TV to play Flash video. That's it. Like Flash online video is the only. I mean, it's like $200 or $300 just to play Flash random. And I listen to. I mean, I watch a lot of weird niche, like TV feeds from Europe, or in this little Flash player on some Belgium site. And that works fine. Everything works with Google
What
TV.
is this we're looking at? Is that the new interface?
Yes, it
It's
will
like a-
be.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
It's that thing along the bottom.
What
Yeah.
the hell? This is the interface?
No. Well, it's just that screen in the middle.
Oh, God! I'm just going like I don't want that on my screen. Now, I think one of the things I really actually do like after using and like you, Matt, I've used every set-top box from the Western Digital Live to the Roku, Plex, Boxy Box. Of course, it's nice you can get porn on Boxy Box, so I got to commend them for that. But the nice thing about the Google TV is it doesn't use an HDMI port. It's a pass-through, and I kind of like that. So you have your cable box goes to the Google TV, which then goes to your TV. So it's a little confusing, and I hope they fix this in 3.1 because when the screensaver goes on the Google TV, suddenly you can't watch your TV, and my family doesn't understand that. Oh, you got to get that keyboard out and press a button on the keyboard before you can watch the TV because
It's all your fault.
it took me like 8 weeks to figure it out, and I actually disconnected it.
I don't pipe my everything through the Google TV. I just use it as a different device.
It
I
works
had to
okay.
upgrade
It works
yeah,
okay.
it works good. I mean, I just use it as a Chrome web browser on TV. It's
Right.
basically.
Well, see, that's
all
the idea is that you don't have to exit your TV to browse. You're browsing and watching TV, which of course is really stupid. But it was because, and I don't know if the Sony does this, the Logitech, because it's basically a Harmony. You tell it what your TV is and what your set-top box is, and you control everything from that keyboard, volume on, off, everything, pause. And so you know what? Actually, I brought it out because I'm waiting for the 3.1, and I kind of thought this isn't that bad. At 99 bucks, I think it's almost a good idea.
It could be so much better, though. I mean, I keep thinking about all the apps that I want on my
Well,
TV.
won't we get that?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had a TV with apps. I know there are TVs with apps out there now. Doesn't Sony have like a TV with
they all
with kind of
do.
an app store? Yeah,
They have Popcorn
yeah. But
Hour
I keep
and-
thinking about all the apps I wish that I could have on my TV. There's so many times when I'll be watching a show and I'll see an actor and actress and be like, what was she on before? I just want to be able to pause and have it do some magical face recognition and just bring up the IMDb page, kind of right there on screen. And also, I am dying to get a good Instapaper for my TV. So whenever I come across a YouTube video that I want to watch later on my TV, I want to just be able to send it to something
Okay, Plex.
and have it just show up.
Plex.
And Plex does that?
Plex does that. You queue them up, and then you go home and you watch TV. You know what? This is going to be my tool of the week is Plex on the Google TV.
Okay.
But that's what you want to add. And I think I really thought Apple would do this. They didn't do it with Apple TV yet. But I really think that that's where Google has a chance to really revitalize this is by, look, they've got a market. And this is on your TV. You got Twitter, you got Flickster, you got all of this stuff. And I think I cannot wait to see 3.1 on here. I wish it were ice cream sandwich, but I can't wait to see. I think there's a potential here.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it either.
Yeah.
Hopefully by Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I'm hoping by next week. I was hoping we could talk about it this week.
Yeah.
And you can watch us on it. You just can't watch ABC, Fox, Sci-Fi.
Yeah.
Those bastards.
But you can watch live.twit.tv, right? That's Flash.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can't watch the
Right, but you
networks
can't go- right, the
because
networks that
they
block.
say that's not a browser. That's a Google TV. What is wrong
Yeah.
with them? Jeff, you
Control.
must know. What the hell is wrong? Why would ABC say I can watch it on this, but not on my Google TV? What the hell's wrong with them?
So we got to parse that, right? They don't want Google. They don't want to give Google. Well, is it ABC or is it the MSO?
It's a bunch of them. No, it's ABC. Because,
Yeah.
okay, so no, I could go, I used to, in the first day, the first day you got your Google TV a year ago, you would surf to ABC and you could watch the shows. You could go to
Right.
Hulu and watch the shows because you have a browser with all the capabilities. Then they started looking at the user agent and saying, oh, you're coming to us from a Google TV. Ixnay on the...
Well, here's where it is, right? It disaggregates the channel because they show you on Google TV, search for a show, go right to the show. Who cares what channel is on? There's no such thing as a channel.
But I'm in the browser.
That's the point. Google TV. Oh, I see it. You're looking at ABC.
I'm looking at the ABC website.
Right, but in the long run, where Google, the search company, will head is you want to see that actor. Well, here's where they are, and I'll take you right to it, and you'll have less sense of the. I guess that's their fear. I don't know. I'm making it
Also,
up.
ABC is like saying, should we hand over full video control to the largest ad company on the planet and just hope for the best that they don't just put text ads on the bottom of our little ABC streaming video? Like, I don't know. I think they didn't like the competition.
I imagine with the market launched and the new update that there will be plenty of apps that can change your user agent string.
Well, you could do that before, and apparently
Right,
they're pretty smart about what they look at. I don't know how they know, but they can tell.
Yeah.
Bastards.
Well, they also they announced all these new players. Look at all the new stars on YouTube, and it's kind of
The YouTube 100 YouTube channels. They overpaid. And but
Yeah.
what is a Shaquille O'Neal comedy channel? What is that going to be? That's it. It's the Shaq comedy channel.
Another up there.
Laugh, damn you! All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to talk about Ford, then we're going to talk some more about other stuff. Matt Haughey's here from Metafilter, and I didn't know this. The PVR blog, which I've read all the time, and on the PVR blog, you're very self-effacing. It doesn't have a big Matt Haughey's PVR blog.
Oh, yeah. Well, I actually sold it a couple years ago, and then I just bought it back like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, you did.
Congratulations!
It was the first, Matt. Wasn't it the first revenue sustainable blog?
Yeah. And I was dumb enough to write a big post saying, hey, everybody, here's how you make money with the blogs. And then
Everybody's figured it out.
there were 5 clones of it. Like within 2 months, there were 5 different like TiVo blogs. And then the revenue started to go down. But yeah, like a couple years ago, I hadn't been posting to it for months. So that's what my remote.
Your
file-
remotes look like my remotes.
Yeah, I hate it.
Boxy, I see them all. These are all the ones I have, except for the Sony piece of crap.
I like it.
I have a keyboard, but it's a little big. It's crazy to have a keyboard on your coffee table.
Yeah.
That's just
That
nuts.
one's like PlayStation controller size. It actually feels great in the hands.
Yeah,
It's
but the
just
keyboard is real. I mean, you could type easily. It's just, I don't know. I like the keyboard. Anyway, this is great. Congratulations.
Oh, thanks.
I didn't realize you had reacquired.
Yeah, well, I sold it to this little email marketing company. I knew that
dear.
was kind of dodgy. But they were like, we've never done content before. It can't be that hard. I gave them all these tips. I showed them my RSS lists. I told them how to. I spent 2 days working with them, and then they never made a single post for 2 years.
Wow.
They said we don't have the time. So I offered them a fraction of what they paid for it, and they said sure.
Yay.
Oh, so you made money on the deal. Good for you.
Yay. It's a profit thing. By the way, is your health okay? The tumor gone?
Yeah. Yeah, it's shrunk, and I'm doing great.
Yay.
Now, so.
Yay.
So you're on the cancer side of the show today.
No. No,
It wasn't cancer.
It wasn't cancer? All right. So Gina and I are the...
That's my exclusive.
The hammer has fallen on you two. Gina and I are
I've
just
got
keep looking
enough
up.
for everybody.
We're just waiting for it to hit us.
Yeah, it's just a matter.
It's just a matter of time. We're all dying. It's just how fast.
Exactly. Wah, wah.
I know a light's going to fall any day now and hit me in the head. Hey, this show is brought to you by, and thank goodness, because of them, we can afford safety chains on our lights. So Ford's keeping me alive, ladies and gentlemen. The great folks at Ford, they are very proud of the fact that Ford's vehicles are basically consumer electronics devices. I mean, until Ford came along, you'd get in a car and basically you'd be going back to the 19th century, you know? You have a steering wheel, a stick, a brake, and that's it. And you turn on the radio and you can hear Top 40 radio. Now, thanks to this amazing stuff, they put the Ford Sync, the My Ford Touch, you're driving, Kit, the Wonder Car. You know, I've talked before how I could talk to my car. Now, with AppLink, they've got an API for apps. Alan Mullally told me, he said, our iterative process cannot be as fast as the smartphone guys. They really, every year they come up, or in case of Android, every 5 minutes, they come up with something new and exciting. So they've got an API. People can write apps for smartphones, Apples or Androids, that then you can talk to and communicate with. So the first three are already out. Pandora, that was the obvious one. So you can actually talk to Pandora. You press the button on your steering wheel. You don't take your eyes off the road, your hands off the wheel, so it's very safe. And that's the problem with Siri. You have to push the button on Siri. No, you press the button on the steering wheel, and you could say things like, play my classic rock station, or bookmark this song so I could buy it later, or thumbs up or thumbs down. On Pandora, it's got Open Beak, so it'll read you your tweets, or your timeline, your replies. It's got Stitcher Smart Radio, so you can create an audio magazine of podcasts. So you can listen to this show, and it's absolutely the best way to listen to TWiT. And Leo endorses Stitcher on the AppLink. I just think it's fantastic. But there's all sorts of other things, too. I mean, what I encourage you to do is go to this website, Ford.com/technology. Look at the new engines, the Sync, the My Ford Touch. You know, they've got a great thing here. Where is it? It's My Key for teenagers. That makes you can set a maximum speed and a maximum volume of the stereo. Turn that stereo down, you punk. Anyway, I just love it. This is such a great place. I'm so glad we have a relationship with them. We invite you to our barbecue. It's coming up. We got two of them. November 13th and December 4th. If you go to twit.tv, you'll click the link and you'll get this webpage. We do ask that you sign up, so click the day you can come. The 13th of this month, a week from Sunday, or next month, December 4th. And
you are doing events.
Oh, yeah, we are. You're right. I didn't even think of that.
There you go.
It's a little event. Only 50 people can come. We're going to have great
perfect.
food from the yeah, right. I don't want it to be South by. There's no lines. Come, you watch TWiT. You'll see our new gaming show in process. We're actually on the 13th. If you can come the 13th, we're going to have Brian Brushwood, Veronica Belmont, the host of our new gaming show here, the producer Dan Mitchell, Chad Johnson, and we're going to try things out so you could be part of our, we've got to have a fire hole where we throw games we don't like. We're going to have some stuff. You could try it out. You could be part of, you could see how shows are developed at TWiT on the fly as we go. It's going to be fun. I really want you to come. So go to twit.tv, click the link, and sign up to be at the barbecue. And, of course, Ford will be there with some great vehicles so you can take a look at the all this stuff that I've been talking about. Thank you, Ford, for your support. No lights will hit me. Thanks to Ford. I'm sorry. I should have my rundown right in front of me. I should probably print these out because I, like most nerds, now have 300 tabs open all at the same time.
But you need paper that supports hyperlink clicking.
That's right.
On links.
That's right. So we talked about the YouTube thing. Who are, besides Shaq, Madonna, they're also bringing networks, right? Or not? Is it just individuals?
No, it's the Onion's that included.
The Onion, that'll be good. But
That's
doesn't the Onion News Network already just have a channel? I mean, what is
Yeah. I think they're just throwing it in there.
All right. And it's going to be the lean back experience, right? Or not? The idea,
I don't know the difference.
I don't know either. Is this this is to receive updates about the new channels joining YouTube as they launch? It's evening here at the TWiT Brick House. And now all the lights are out so we can watch the new Shaquille O'Neal Comedy Hour. Starring Shaquille. You got to wonder, okay, so they said, what, $100 million for this? You got to wonder how long Madonna, Shaq, how long are these guys going to put up with this?
Yeah.
I mean, is this gonna be a long term? Most of this is crap. I'm looking at it right now. I'm not gonna name names because I don't want people to think I think they're crap. But most of this does not look good.
Yeah, I agree.
American Hipster, comedic channel exploring pop culture through the lens of hipsterism. Oh yeah, I'll be watching that a lot. They've got a channel Food, name to be determined. Channel Auto, name to be determined. Channel Pets and Animals, name to be determined.
I'm guessing this is out of the purchase of Next New Networks and their kind of platform.
A lot of this
Some
has
of
been
their old
around,
shows are there,
right?
yeah.
I guess it's kind of what I was saying. If you're super serving a niche audience, like if you're into soccer, Kick TV will be great. Except I bet they don't. Will they have games, or will they just be commentary?
Even just people talking while you're waiting for a goal to happen.
Not a soccer
Which is a
fan.
long time.
I can tell. Yes. Wow.
It's a little slow for me.
We've added a rim shot and crickets. Talk about production value. And sad trombone. So, I'm not saying I'm mad at YouTube for not including us, but I think this is the production values. Look at the circuit board. The production. This is a high production
That's what
value
we're talking
program.
about.
You know who's on there? SB Nation, the formerly known as SB Nation. I guess I'll have to rename that show. The people who own The Verge.
Yeah.
Stan Lee's World of Heroes. Okay, the 5 people in the audience like Stan Lee. Deepak Chopra's Chopra Well. Inspiration, knowledge, total well-being from Deepak Chopra. The Comedy Shack Network. That's the one I'm watching. An urban comedy network featuring stand-up comedy, sketch comedies. Oh, okay. So this isn't Shack. He's going to hey, Nerdist has a channel.
That's too bad. I want the Monday
Okay,
show.
Nerdist would be good.
Nerdist has a channel.
That's the one I'm going to watch.
That's
We
pretty-
love Chris.
Brought to you by the nerd-friendly folks at Nerdist Industries, the Jim Henson Company, Geek Chic Daily, and Broadway Video Entertainment.
What about Kevin Pollak's chat show? I always see that show up on every system as sort of the
Yeah, no, I don't see that on here. You know what's interesting? I think it's clear that there's throwing everything against the wall, and then what will stick and what won't stick.
What's the business deal for these guys? Do we know?
I think they're thinking long term that they basically YouTube wants to be. I don't even want to say a broadcast network. Wants to be a cable network.
Right, but for the channels, are they getting an upfront payment? Are they getting a share of
I
ad
don't
revenue?
know.
What's
I
the
don't
deal?
know. They said $100 million. There's 100 channels. Each of them get $1 million. I don't know. I think the deal. I mean, YouTube Live. The deal is it's an ad network. They put the ads on your show. Because we talked to YouTube Live and they said,
Which is
well,
why you won't.
You have to take all the ads out of your show. And I said, but wait a minute. I said, who's going to do this? CNN is going to take the ads out of CNN so that they can be on YouTube Live? I don't think so. I said, you're going to get all these down market people who don't have any ads.
Well, Sirius takes the ads out of CNN, in fact, and puts their own trucker ads in.
Oh, well, maybe that's okay. So CNN does that then.
But if that's if that's different because it's a car. If too many CNN listeners switched over to Sirius, that'd be really bad.
Yeah, that'd be
CNN.
a problem, right?
So same for you. If too many people started watching you on Google, unless they pay you higher rates.
Yeah.
But this goes back to your do not grow strategy.
Right. So that's why we're not going to do it. Google Maps kind of pulled a little fast one. They pulled they pulled the rug out from under a couple of people. So what happened,
What scares
Jeff?
me, they've been hanging around with a phone company too long because they announced that heavy users will now get charged, which kind of sounds logical, except that Google Maps has been free for how long with no warning of this? And that's the monopoly fear that people have about Google is they're going to get you addicted to something and suddenly, bing, now they're going to put down the turnpike on you.
So if you're using version 3 of the JavaScript API or the Statics Map API, you'll be capped at 25,000 a day. And if you go past 25,000 views, you'll have to pay $4 per thousand. So if you had 50,000 views, that'd be 4 times
$100.
It wouldn't be that bad. $100. If you had,
I know, but if you're, it's the principle of the thing, right? So that revenue is de minimis to Google.
by the way, Matt, your math skills are excellent.
I asked Google.
That's why he has the Haughey number.
The cap is set to 2,500 loads for styled maps that customize the presentation. After 25,000 loads, the overage goes to $8 if you modify it in any way per thousand.
I have a feeling that, like, whenever you release any sort of widget or JavaScript include of anything, you get this, like, 99% of your audience, it loads 5 times a day. A few people, it loads a couple hundred times a day. And there's always, like, 2 psychotically heavy users.
Right.
That, millions, like, your servers are dedicated to that one outside service.
Map
So I
hogs.
imagine there's like 4 or 5 mapping startups that were just piggybacking on Google Maps and, probably had some decent revenue. And Google's saying, hey, maybe you can scale it back a bit.
They did say that this is really for people who are peaking, they're not for people who occasional peaks, it's people who are always over the limit all the time. So I think that makes sense.
Like, what must Yelp be like?
God, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's good. It's a good point.
Yeah,
Right,
there are people, as you say, who have built a business on their maps.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should be giving you some money. I don't think that's unreasonable. It's just a kind of a
I don't disagree
switcheroo.
with that, but it's the switcheroo, and it happened. There was no hint ever they were going to do this. It's not revenue that's going to matter to Google, and so, but they got you by the neck or another body part, and now they do it, and I think that's gonna backfire on them when it comes to antitrust discussions.
Well, exactly. And a number of people, we were talking about this on Twitter, comparing today's Google to Microsoft in 1998.
Yeah,
And Google today is as arrogant as Microsoft is and as greedy as Microsoft is, and they're doing the bait and switch that Microsoft used to do. Well, it's free now. Okay, now that we got you hooked and we've killed all the competition, pay up. Now, fortunately, there's OpenStreetMaps. There are open maps that I imagine will get some traffic out of this. And I love OpenStreetMaps. I think it's great. And it's free, right? I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens with the Google Plus API. Like right now, there's a courtesy cap of 1,000 calls a day. So I wonder if they're going to start out when they start releasing, making the API more widely available with limits like this. If it started out this way, hey, you get 25,000 calls free, and then after that you have to pay. I mean, that's very common. Twitter famously sort of throttles their, you get 350 requests an hour unless you get whitelisted. I mean, I think that API limits are totally reasonable. But your point that it's been always free up until now, and now there's, these huge businesses that use these maps is a good one.
Survey says many parents lie to get their kids on Facebook.
I'm the only one here that's not a parent, so I'm interested to hear what you all think about this.
So the COPPA, the Child Online Privacy Protection Act, says that you have to have parental consent if you let children under 13 use your site. That's why Facebook says you have to be 13 to use Facebook. But according to this survey,
by the wonderful Dana Boyd and company.
Dana Boyd, yep. Lots of parents are just saying, don't worry, I'll sign you up, or lie, or whatever.
But Dana's... Go ahead, Matt.
Oh, yeah, I've been there when Flickr went from when they let you tag people, in photos, kind of like Facebook. I had all these thousands of photos of my daughter on Flickr, and I went to try and sign up a Yahoo account for her. And then it's like, you can get through the entire sign up, and then you get to the point
18.
of connecting to Flickr, and it goes, no, you got to be 13.
Actually, I think
So-
Yahoo says 18, don't they?
Well, I backed out of it, and then a friend whose son, it was like 3, is on there as a user. It's like, what did you do? And she just, I just added, I took 10 years off his birth date.
There's this debate going on Google Plus right now. Should Google Plus allow under 18 users? And they had somebody did a poll, and 61% said no, we don't want the kiddies on here.
Jeez.
So Dana's research Why parents help their children lie to
their
Facebook
children. That's
about
the big
age.
thing.
Unintended consequences of the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act found that many parents knowingly allow their children to lie about their age. In fact, often help them to do so in order to gain access to age-restricted sites.
This is the issue of the unexpected consequences of this kind of regulation. I wrote a piece at time.com about this about 2 weeks ago, and then New Data was coming out with this, which is superb research, because it says that the FTC is trying, and the FTC is now going to toughen this. A site can use information about a child in any way only if you get the explicit permission of the parents, and only if that comes in printing out a document and scanning it or faxing it, remember that, or a video conference with the company. And it's onerous. And I asked the FTC attorney over this in a call with the Future Privacy Forum whether they had any research about lying. They didn't. Now Dana does. They had no research about how much parents use this. But my biggest concern is that because of this legislation, sites do not build anything for anyone under 13, which makes children the worst served sector of society on the internet, and that is a tragedy.
Dana says parents want their kids to have access to public life. And today,
Yes.
what public life means is participating even in commercial social media sites. Listen to this. For kids who are under 13, when they signed up, 68% of the parents said, yeah, we helped them sign up. Among 10-year-olds, 95% of the parents were not only aware of their kids using the service, 78% helped them create the account. So parents, now I don't think it's troubling because I always told my kids, lie all you want to online marketers. We'll make more. It's not a problem. If somebody asks you, if a stranger comes up to you on the street and asks you, where do you live, little girl, it's okay to lie. If a marketer comes on a website and says, what's your age and demographic, it's okay to lie. Lie to them. Be my guest, right? Is that immoral? Am I wrong? Dana seems to think it's a bad thing.
No. What Dana's saying is...
She says it's deeply problematic that kids and parents are lying.
Because what we're doing is we're training our kids to lie. We are what she's talking about is the validity of COPPA, of this law.
Well, I understand that.
Saying it's not doing what it's supposed to do. And I was at a session recently, and people said, well, what should we do? And Dana is the one who taught me that you should regulate the use of the data more than the collection of the data. By regulating the collection of the data, we all lose out. All children lose out. By regulating bad guys, you go after the bad guys. And that's what's happened here. So what she's saying is that this legislation, I don't want to put any words in her mouth, but what I would come out of this with is that this legislation and the regulation that followed had this, doesn't know what the harm they're trying to protect from is, and parents obviously don't want it.
Right.
So what are we doing?
Right. Only 18% of parents surveyed said they thought the government should have age limits on websites.
Yeah. That's
not what they wanted. They wanted information. They wanted control. They didn't want prohibition.
Right. That's the parent. That's the other point. It's the parent's job, not the government's.
But I still think it's now. Maybe I'm ethically challenged. I guess I should say it's never okay in under any circumstances to lie. But what I told my kids all along is it's okay to lie to bad guys. Isn't that okay? It's okay.
Yeah, I think so. But is a media? But what happens here is that the media site or the service like Facebook gets thrown in with the bad guys. Where imagine.
Well, that's true. That's a good point.
Here's an example. Let's say that you're an educational site and you want to do a geography game. And you want to deal with the geography that the kid knows. So you start and say, well, what town do you live in?
Right.
Loser. Right. You're going to get in big trouble and you have to go through all kinds of hoops. So what do? You don't do it. You don't ever serve a child that age. That's the problem. So that the good guys here are not motivated to serve this audience, and they stay away, and so we've expanded stranger danger to make every adult on earth evil.
Crucial Wax says it right. It's not lying. It's keeping personal information secret through misinformation.
Yes.
How about that?
Right. That's good. That's good. I like that.
Kids do it all the time. They say they're 100 years old all the time on MySpace or whatever. That's just what they do. I don't think that they see that as lying. Man.
I mean, I wonder how much about this is about online marketers and about sort of adult content. Like, I would like to see the comparison of parents who let their under 17 kids see R-rated movies or play like mature M for mature rated video games as compared to this number. I mean, it sounds like
I wouldn't let my kids do that.
Well, right, and that's interesting, right? Because you're very experienced on the internet. You know what happens on the internet. A lot of these parents said, our
scared.
computer is in the family room, and I'm
Yeah.
friends with my kid, and I see everything that my kid posts to his or her wall, and I monitor who my kid is friends with on Facebook. So, and it's my responsibility to do that, and that's why I feel comfortable lying, right? And so, in the case of an R-rated movie, maybe the parent goes in with the kid, or the parent says that that's not okay.
Right.
But there's this idea. I mean, and Jeff knows that connecting on the internet is a good thing, right? It's not automatically a bad thing. The predators aren't automatically going to descend upon your kid, right? That this is about participation in public life in a positive way.
Right.
And that's, I think, Dana's point, right? That this law that was made so many years ago has to be revisited.
Let's fix it. Nobody liked that law from day one. It was always a bad idea.
And Facebook is more of a messaging platform anyway now. So it's like my aunt announced our family reunion on Facebook.
Yeah.
I had no idea my 10-year-old cousins are on Facebook.
They're all there.
I had no idea.
And they'd be disenfranchised if they weren't there. And there's no porn on Facebook. There's no adult stuff on Facebook.
So, Leo, I snuck into The Graduate. Didn't you ever sneak into a
All the time.
All right. So you want your kids do it?
Well, I don't buy them beer.
No, I don't. I mean that.
No, I think I try to discourage that, but I think my kids probably were sneaking into R-rated movies. I'll tell you what, The Graduate compared to an R-rated movie today is a very different thing.
Oh, yeah.
The Graduate. Oh, boy. Is that...
I don't let my parents live that one down.
My parents wouldn't let me see. I was in 10th grade. They wouldn't let me see, Art Garfunkel was in it. I can't remember the name of it. Anyway,
Chat room.
It was an R-rated movie. It's Jack Nicholson.
Catch 22?
No, Jack Nicholson, Art Garfunkel, and I think Anne Margaret is in it. Anyway, I don't know.
Right. Come on, chat room. You can do it. You can do it. Come on.
But Mrs. Robinson, are you carnal knowledge? Thank you. Very good. Wistful. You win the prize. Siri would have known that, by the way. Did you know that's just a selling point for Siri? Because, Gina, you said you can say, Siri, who starred in Carnal Knowledge? And Siri will look it up for you.
Nice.
Selling point for Siri.
I like it.
One more thing, as long as we're talking about Facebook. The folks at Mog, which is a music service, and I like it. It's one of my favorite music services. Say that they've been struggling along. There's a lot of competition with Spotify, RDO, Rhapsody, on and on and on. By putting their stuff, by joining the Facebook friction-free sharing platform, Mog has grown 246%, like that.
Power of platform.
Power of the platform.
Yep.
All right, we're going to take a break, come back with Gina's tips, Jeff's Jarvis. Gina's Trapani, Jeff's Jarvis, and Leo's Laporte. Coming up, but first, quickly, because we're running out of time. I'm already 9 minutes late. I know. Don't look at me like that, Tom Merritt. Quickly, Carbonite.com, backup done right. I don't have to tell you about this. If you're not backing up, what the hell? What are you, nuts? What are you, crazy? So I know why you don't back up. It's a pain in the keister, and you don't, you got to remember to do it. You got to figure it out. Let me make it simple for you. Go to Carbonite.com, use the offer code TWIG. You could try this free for 2 weeks, Mac or PC. It starts backing up. You put it on there whenever you're online. Boom, 128-bit SSL. You can add encryption so you're really private. It just does it. They'll give you 2 weeks free because then that's going to get your first. And by the way, it even chooses the folders automatically. You can refine this, but frankly, for most users, just the default settings, you're done. It's working. Now, if you have a crash, all your data is safe in the cloud. Your house could burn down. All the backups next to your computer could be gone, and you still get all your data. And it's cloud storage. You can log onto your Carbonite account anytime on your PC, on your Mac, on your smartphone, on your iPad, and there's your stuff. So cloud storage. Automatic, transparent, easy backup, always safe. How much would you pay? Less than $5 a month. Less than $5 a month for everything on your internal drive, everything on your laptop, everything on your desktop. You don't even have to count the data. Pretty good deal. I'm gonna make it even better. If you use the offer code TWIG when you buy, you get 2 more months, so it's 14 months for the price of 12. I mean, I shouldn't have to. This sells itself. I shouldn't have to sell this to you. Just do it. If you're not backing up quickly, Carbonite.com, offer code TWIG. Don't even think about it. Just do it. That's the way to sell something. Don't even think about it. Just trust me. It works. I use it. Actually, I was at my daughter's place yesterday, and I just checked in to make sure the Carbonite was still running. Beauty. It's awesome. Gina, your tip of the week.
This is pretty cool. Google's being a lot more transparent, or a little bit more transparent, about why it serves you the ads that it does. If you do a search for, so example search, if you do a search for Galaxy Nexus, for example, you'll get a couple of ads at the top, you know, the regular just blue link ads. But there's a new link that says why these ads. If you click on that, you'll get a little explanation. The ads are based on your current search terms, which is pretty obvious, right? But you can go and there's now an ads preferences manager where you can say, don't ever show me ads from this advertiser again. You can block certain advertisers, which is really nice. So it's pretty cool. I'd like to see this more. You know, sometimes I get wacky ads in my Gmail and I'm just like, how did they, where did they come up with that? And so I'd like to see this roll out everywhere. Right now I'm only seeing it in the search results. But the ads preferences manager is at, I have to sign in.
It just happens if you do the search. You don't have to even worry about it. Just click why these ads, and then it'll say visit Google's ad preferences manager to learn more. And then it shows you the ads you saw. In this case, Google Nexus, I saw two, one for Google and one for Samsung, Verizon. And you can literally just block it.
Yep, you can block certain advertisers, and you can opt out as well of
That's nice.
personalization, of ad personalization as well.
So
I don't have it.
Really? Well, they know it's you. So opt out. That is pretty neat. Those who opted
everybody
in,
should be doing this. Everyone should be doing this.
yeah, more opted in users are 40% more likely to click on ads than opted out users. Huh. This is really good. Good on you, Google. And you know, this costs them nothing because, you know, I mean, this just gives people control.
It gives them more valuable data.
Yeah. It's the same thing Dig did that, whether you could dig up or down ads. And advertisers paid for that.
Yes.
Yeah,
They wanted to
that's
know that.
really useful.
Facebook does it too. Block this ad. Advertisers actually want that information. They don't want to advertise to people who aren't interested. That's a waste of their money. Cool. So you don't see it? Are you logged in, Jeff?
Maybe that's. Yeah, I am.
That's weird.
Yeah. That is weird.
You know, there's a nice new thing on that I like. Another way that Google Plus is infiltrated. If you do a search for a Google Plus artist, a blogger, you can circle them now. If let me see here, I'll do Matt Haughey.
Oh, from the search results.
Yeah.
Yeah, the plusification of everything.
The plusification of everything.
Even search results.
So I'm already connected to you, Matt, but if I weren't, I could circle you here.
And you can see people's, like the number of circles that people are in as well. It doesn't look like Matt hooked up his
Oh, you haven't hooked it up yet.
profile. But yeah, I mean, Leo, I bet it works for you, Leo.
I'm hooked up. So here's, there, yeah, look, Gina.
Oh.
In
Yeah, so you can
150,000 Google Plus circles, she's in 2 of my circles. I could add her to other circles. I just think this doesn't bother me. I think this is cool.
It's cool, but it really makes web publishers, compels them to use Google Plus, right?
Well,
Because
Facebook's doing these kinds of things. I mean,
It attaches authority. I feel a little weird about attaching authority to the number of circles you're in, because then it becomes this popularity contest, like kind of the Twitter followers issue.
Yeah.
And also, my number's huge because Google put me on the suggested user list, because I do this show. That's not, that's not fair. I appreciate sort of organic numbers a little better.
Right.
So I hope they'll use a few other factors to figure out authority and expertise and that kind of thing. But it is really interesting the way that Plus is kind of creeping into everything. I mean, there's no reason why a web publisher won't join Plus and try to, get into a lot of circles.
Hey, I didn't want to put the like button on my pages, but you have to. I mean, it's just part of the thing now. You got to do like, plus, Twitter, whatever. Mm-hmm. It's a brave new world, isn't it, Matt Haughey?
It's exhausting.
It's exhausting.
Matt will use Plus, whether he likes it or not.
Okay.
Yeah, just like Facebook.
You have to. I resisted for a long time. I deleted my Facebook account on this very show. I wish I could have kept it that way. Jeff Jarvis, your number of the week, my friend.
My number is 300,000, which is how many people signed a petition online to beat down Bank of America's $5 debit card
Yay.
fee. Molly Catchpole, 22-year-old woman from Washington, collected $300,000 to kind of occupy the ATM. And I just think it's another wonderful sign of the tools of publicness enabling people, Pache, Clay Shirky organizing with our organizations, and us controlling the companies. And yay!
Yay!
And similarly, you saw the White House's "We the People" online petitions. They issued their first response to an online petition.
They did?
Which one? The marijuana one?
The no, it was the student loan one. I'm trying to find it.
Now there's a petition that the White House pay attention to the petitions. I'll sign that one.
No, they did. They actually responded to the petition. The petition was to forgive all student loan debt, and the response was not to forgive all student loan debt, but a new policy that reduces payments.
Good.
So, I mean, really, first example of an online
Fantastic.
kind of online organizing, changing policy, which excited me because that's what Expert Labs is all about.
Right. Gina's Think Up app is an Expert Labs. It was actually used by the White House. I imagine 2012 will be very exciting for you.
Yeah. Well, the White House is separate from the campaign, but yes.
I understand.
Yeah.
Just a little.
Are you
Just a little.
skeptical, Jeff?
You see that hair? Walk over it.
But it's an important hair. Let's not denigrate the hair.
Yeah.
So my tool is Plex. Plex is a really great piece of software based on Xbox Media Center, XBMC. It's a complete rewrite, very powerful. It's a media server. You can run it on Android. You can run it on iPhone. You can run it on your computer. You should be, if you're using, if you want to do a home theater PC, you should be using Plex. Now it works with Google TV, and this is very exciting. If you go to the Plex blog, they'll talk about it. They've added Google TV compatibility. Now I'm unclear. I guess this means it's $4.99, $4.90. I guess what this means is that you have to have the new 3.1. I'm not sure because
It has to be a market, right? Because it's an app.
it has to be in the market.
Yeah. This is definitely gonna be the first app I buy on my TV.
Absolutely a must. I just read up on Plex to know what the capabilities are, but you're going to really love this. So the minute you're, all three of you who are watching, and that's Matt, me, and Gina, who have Google TV, you might want to take a look at getting Plex on that right away. You'll be able to stream over the Wi-Fi or your Ethernet all the media in your house onto your Google TV. I mean, it's just gonna, I think, make Google TV and the Plex people say, we're really happy. We believe that this actually runs very well on Google TV. There's plenty of horsepower. It handles a surprisingly large number of media formats. They're pretty excited about this.
And Plex is open source, and it kind of grew out of the hacked Xbox, XBMC, which is also an open source product. So it's got this great history of it's such a good fit for Android.
And Spotify on there, CNN. I mean, you're going to get a lot more channels. Revision 3, TWiT, of course, is on Plex. So this is a really nice way to take your Google TV and amp it up. And I think you add this to the new Google TV, you're going to have a very, very nice home theater PC. Matt will probably be writing about this on the PVR blog any minute now. Matt,
Sure.
Haughey.
As soon as I get the new version.
We're all waiting for it. PVRblog.com. Welcome back. Of course, Metafilter. A lot of stuff. And I'm glad your health is good. That's so exciting. That's so
Thanks.
great. We all, you were one of the pioneers of public illness. You and Jeff.
Amen.
Yeah. And it gave, but what was great is it gave, and we talked about this before on TWiT, but it gave everybody a chance to kind of wish you well. And I think that's pretty cool. Yeah. A Whole Lot of Nothing is his blog, aWhole.org. And thank you for being here, Matt. We really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Great to have you here, Matt.
Jeff Jarvis, great to have you as always from the City University.
Always a highlight of the week, Leo.
Love doing it. I can't ever
I won't say anything else nice about you because it'll creep you out. So I'm not going to.
It doesn't creep me out. It embarrasses me. I turn red. I spritz.
Jeff's man crush is so cute, though.
I got a crush on him. I got a crush on you too, Gina. It's just a love fest here.
It is.
Matt's going. So Jeff's book, Public Parts Must Read. That's all I have to say. Gina Trapani, she's a goddess. We all know that. There's nothing more to be said. Except visit her website, smarterware.org. Thank you, Gina.
Great show today.
And
Thanks for coming
follow
on, Matt.
all these guys on all the different things. They're easy to
Oh, another
find.
thing, the social things.
Social things. The only thing weird, Matt spells Haughey with a G. It's the only thing weird. Haughey.
Can I make a quick plug?
Actually, your Twitter is HOWIE, isn't it, Matt?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you handled that. And
Can I
quick
make a
plug
quick
from
plug?
the host of All About Android, our Android show,
Hello.
Ms. Eileen Rivera.
I just want to remind everybody that twit.tv/bestof is up.
Yes.
And if you guys out there want to submit your favorite This Week in Google moment or any other favorite show, go to twit.tv/bestof and let us know.
And that's because the Christmas holidays, we're going to take the week after Christmas off. And so all of our shows will have kind of the year's best highlights, us dancing, singing, making astute comments. Probably a lot more dancing and singing.
More dancing and singing than astute comments.
But if you have a memory of an astute comment, please, by all means, twit.tv/bestof. Submit it so that'll help our editors put this together.
I dare you to put together every possible mention of Chipotle.
You know what we should have is a Habermas. We should
We
have
need a supercut. That's what we need, a supercut.
Supercut. Habermas. Gutenberg. Habermas. You could auto-tune it.
Glee and Chipotle. Yeah.
We'll work on that.
Glee, 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 glee.
Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. We do this show every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. That would be 2100 UTC at twit.tv. Please tune in to live because it's fun that way, and you can interact. We watch the chat room, and your comments, of course, are very valuable to us. But if you can't see a show, we record it. There's audio and video free for download everywhere better podcasts are offered, including, of course, our on-site twit.tv, twit.tv/bestof. To make sure you submit your best ofs. And don't forget the barbecues coming up November 13th, December 4th. Click the link right there on the front page if you'd like to sign up for that. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next week on This Week in Google. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.